Hello for the soul community. Jen here with another fascial flossing flow. And this one's geared towards spine and pelvis. We're going to be tapping into our fascia in a really specific way. Now, this particular method was developed by Bon Crotzer, and it helps us create a more pliable and functional tissue. Now, fascia makes up the acupuncture channels, so we have that side benefit of all of that goodness to our organs and moving that prana around in our bodies to just help us heal and feel our best. So this class is fantastic on its own, but it also is a really great way to warm up for a hike or a bike. And what makes this technique unique is that we are engaging, we're finding that healthy tension within the tissues, then we're elongating. But we're also able to really personalize and find those areas of density and tissue tension within our own bodies. So I just invite you to explore and be curious how you can kind of nourish you today in that really specific and personalized way. So we're going to use blocks today. Always have a blanket handy for knees and coming down onto our backs. We're going to end with 5 minutes of centering prayer to really soak in being in the presence of our Creator. So as always, take care of you, personalizing and adjusting as needed. You know your body best. And there's a link to a playlist in the notes section if you so choose. So come onto your backs and find your soles of the feet onto your mat. Knees are bent, and just take a moment here to maybe kind of a baby cat-cow with the lower spine there, just feeling into all of those connecting points of your body into your space. And just arriving, allowing yourself to kind of enjoy this gift that you're giving yourself. This gift of kind of attending to your body in all of these beautiful, nourishing ways, allowing your system to rest. Okay. So we're going to start to articulate through the spine. So connecting through that tailbone lifting, the lower back is pressing into the mat, and now begin to lift one vertebra at a time. So this is very detailed, articulating, and coming into this what's called just a low bridge. So knees are fairly in line with the shoulders there, and then go ahead and round down one vertebra at a time. So we're going to do that a few times, and I just invite you to feel into the details here. Notice I have some spots that feel less kind of clear in my kind of brain-body connection there. So I tend to slow down a smidge and see if I can kind of bring some attention and awareness to that space. Now, next time that you're lifted, pause, take those arms up overhead, feel that beautiful opening in the chest and the shoulders, and now roll down the spine, kind of reaching those fingertips away from you at the same time, and bring those hands down towards hips. And let's add the arms into that articulating here. So reach overhead, reach fingertips long, and glide down the spine. Let's do that one more time. Reach and articulate and glide, kind of like a slinky, right? One vertebra, then the next, then the next. Bend those knees, bring them in towards the chest. One hand on each knee. And I like to think of this is kind of a sacral massage here. I kind of like to think of my thigh bones as little joysticks, the old school kind of joysticks for Atari. And just make some movements with those hips, the thigh bones, feeling into that rotation in any way, that mobilizing of those joints, just nourishing, lubricating. There's no rules. You can go the same way, the opposite way. And one more breath. And we're making our way to seated. So rock and roll. Here, I'm going to use a blanket to sit on. Makes this shape a little bit more comfortable. So I'm going to tuck left leg underneath, and that right leg is going to come on top. Now, really, it can be kind of in any kind of variation there. If it feels comfortable, take that hand out to the outside of that the left hand outside that right knee, or that forearm, whatever kind of is available to you. So go ahead and just start to feel into that right hip there. And then we're going to dip down. Now, as we dip, go ahead and pause. That knee is going to press into either hand or the forearm, but then I'm going to still drag that knee back up to center. Go ahead and dip. And then press the knee out away from you. That's the engagement. And then I'm lengthening, fanning out all of those tissues on the right side of my hip there. So you might hopefully be able to feel that. I feel it. Kind of a lot of activity there, a lot of warmth, a lot of different tissues, and you can take any little variations on angles here, but really that engagement as you're pushing, and then that elongation, right? That lengthening as you come back up. Now let's take a few more. You can take it at any pace, find an angle that feels meaningful to you. And let's take 3 more. It's kind of crazy how much sensation you can find with just these little movements. Now, finding your way back through center, long spine, we're going to twist to the right just for a moment. Shoulders are soft there. Maybe the nose wants to kind of peek behind you, getting some movement in the spine. All right. Good. Unwind from there, you guys. We're coming into boat pose. So you can still stay on that blanket if you'd like, or come on off. Now for this boat pose variation, we're going to lift, but I want you to scoop out your center. So you're more kind of tucking that tailbone, finding that roundness. And a lot of times in boat pose, we're cued to find that long spine, and it's not wrong. But what I'd like you to do is engage more core, less hip flexor. So you hopefully will feel that here. So find that kind of nice boat pose. You can always grab behind the thighs there as a variation. And we're going to start to lower. Nice and slow, reach, and then come on back. Inhale, lower, and exhale, come on back. Keep that scoop. Ooh, let's do 2 more. Finding a little fire in that center. Could you hear that shaking? And then come on down, you guys. Go ahead and tuck that blanket under you. This time that right leg is tucking and that left leg is going over top. Now, either right hand or that right forearm. And then here we go. We're dipping, we're pushing that knee in and then dragging it back up. So hopefully that whole side of the hip, you're like, ooh, there's some good stuff right there happening, kind of fanning out those tissues. This is that beautiful gallbladder line down outside that hip there. Let's take a few more. And if you'd like to find some, just kind of some different variation, a little angle out one way, angle another way. See how it attends to your tissue. Okay, let's do 3 more here. Push and then drag. Sometimes if we're in a movement, not necessarily thinking about it, we could lose that engagement. So reconnect with that engagement there. Okay. Let's make this our last one. So finding that long spine, go ahead and inhale, exhale, twist to your left. And we're going to find just that kind of softness in the twist. So no yanking, no pulling, just inhaling length exhaling, allowing that twist to happen. Okay, here we go. Unwind. Give it a little shaky shake. And we're coming back to our boat pose, friends. Scoop out, take those legs up, and then connect that back of the thigh if you'd like. Here we go. Inhale and exhale. Scoop out that belly and come on up. Let's do 2 more. And then we're going to end lower, lower with nice and controlled release. Okay, that right leg is going to lift here. Grab, kind of interlace, or you can just kind of grab on the back side of that thigh. Now the left leg is going to cross over that shin, that ankle there. The knees right above the thigh, the hip socket. Now from here, I'm pushing my right into my left and then smushing that thigh down. Now this is quad here, so you hopefully can feel that engage that whole line of the front of the quad there. So I'm engaging by pushing that right foot into the left. And then I'm lengthening that tissue by smushing that ankle down. Now, this can be really strong. Like I already feel quite a bit of heat happening here. This is that stomach channel. What happens is sometimes when it gets a little bit challenging, we can start to bring in the knees, and we're going to lose that kind of nice engagement down the quad. So kind of lengthen the arms and that knee away from you. Now we're going to do 5 kind of with those feet angled out to the right. So remember, we have so many different tissues all over, right? And fascia is everywhere. So we really want to attend to those tissues in all the different lines and not just stay in that center place. Let's go medial. So you want to take those toes and kind of bring them towards the middle, that inner line there. And let's make that enough. All right. So we're going to stay on the right side. That one block is going to go underneath your left foot, and then have the other block handy, but we're going to take this nice just figure 4. Now you can use your block or not. You're going to have the knee towards the heart here, and you can always use your blanket if that is more comfortable for your head. And then you're going to use your hands to push away. So this is that kidney line inside that thigh. Now here's where you can pull the block in for a little kind of extension of the arms. And I'm pushing that knee into the block, and then I'm pushing that block into the knee to move the knee away. So my block is winning, right? So I'm finding that engagement by hugging that knee towards my heart. And then I'm pushing away to feel this inner line all the way into the pelvis. So see if you can feel that. And we're tending to all of these tissues to help our pelvis settle into this really comfortable place. And that comfortable place for you. All right, let's do just a few more. All right, last one. And then go ahead and take those knees, hug them into the chest, and little baby rock side to side, just feeling in to that goodness. Okay. All right, you guys, other side. So go ahead and take that left leg up. Find that hand basket behind the left leg. Right is on top of left, and smush. Now that activation is because I'm lifting my left foot into that right. So I'm trying to keep that kind of engagement that whole line down as I smush that shin towards the floor. Keeping that knee over that hip joint and feeling into the goodness. What does this quad feel like compared to the other? Feeling into those differences there. There might be a side that could use a few extra. You can feel into that. Let's go out. Kind of angle those feet out just for 5-ish. And then let's angle those feet towards the midline there. 5-ish. Now, I wasn't counting, but I can kind of feel when we get to the place where there's a whole lot of heat built there, and then let that go. So now that right foot is going to be on your block, and that left knee is crossing over. And let's get to that inner line. So that left knee is coming towards the heart. Keep that engagement. Then I'm pushing away. And keep the engagement. I'm finding that length on that inner part of the thigh. Working the kidney line helps us calm. So just maybe, can you tap into that idea here? Attending to our bodies in so many beautiful ways. And we're all connected 100% of the time, body and brain. So it makes sense that we're attending to lots of things. Okay. And let's do 2 more here. And release. Go ahead and hug those knees into the chest. And let's rock and roll. Rock and roll. Find your downward dog. Take any pedals, any moves, any shifts there. Good. And then you guys make your way to forward fold. So take a moment and just check in, feeling into the back body, the spine, maybe giving the head a little bit of a shake there. And then have your blocks handy, and we're going to make our way to a wide-legged stance. So find this almost like a halfway forward fold. You're going to engage by hugging those legs towards one another. That's that healthy tension, right? And then either way, doesn't matter. You're going to bend one knee and then come into this lengthening of that opposite leg. Come through center. Maybe that's your inhale, and then you're exhaling other direction. Now you can go, maybe just a little bit today. Maybe you're taking things a little bit further with that bend in the knee. How does it feel in your body? But keeping that nice hugging and engagement. Now, my right side always has a little bit more kind of density to it. So I tend to maybe take a few extra to my right. So I just invite you to feel into what side might you need a few extra. A little extra attention there. Being curious, no judging. It's this tending to, caring for your body in this really beautiful way. Okay. Let's do 2 or 3 more here. Maybe you're finishing off on the side that you kind of sense needs a little extra. And then spin to your right leg. So your right foot is going to be forward. That Left foot's behind you. Now, lift that heel of the back foot, bend the knee. From here, I'm hugging that heel back towards the back of my space, and then I'm sitting back into this another hamstring floss here. Now, this is that medial line. My blocks are on my highest level. You can decide what works best for you. And another little kind of fun tip here, if you want to get a little bit more into the calf, you can have something to rest your foot on, pressing that foot into your blanket. Maybe another block is underneath your foot, but that's a fun way to kind of engage the calf a little bit more deeply. Now, you guys, we're going to do what's called around the world. So keep the push and the tug. That's the engagement. Keep elongating, but I'm going to find some different angles here. So this left foot is going to come across the midline. Oi. So you can always kind of play. Now, can you get a little lighter on your blocks? Notice how much weight. All right. Here we go. Make your way back to center. It's always good to work the hammies. Those tissues tend to be pretty dense and it affects so many things. Low back, all of it. Your pelvic floor, you might kind of feel all the pelvic work in there. Now, you guys, we're going to come into warrior one. So from here, land that foot out away. So make some space between your feet. Those back toes are at an angle. Front knee is bent. Come on up, warrior one. So let's play with a little flow here. Inhale, fingertips reach high. Exhale, cactus. Pause, inhale. Exhale, push. So I want you to move those shoulder blades. Inhale here, reach. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, pause. And exhale, push. Let's do a few more of those. And can you feel into that movement? That kind of smoothness of the shoulder blades gliding over the ribs. All right, last one, and push. Here we go for our liver wide-legged forward kind of position here, that liver channel. And let's take maybe 5, 6. You could take it to that place that you need, that tending to, just that one side if you'd like. Or maybe you're alternating and seeing how things have shifted a little bit. All right. Here we go. Move those blocks. We're coming to that left side now for that hamstring kind of pyramid shaped floss. That heel lifts in the back, the knee bends, and then heel pushes, that front heel pushes in and hugs back. That's your engagement. And sit those hips back. Inhale, come forward and sit back. You can adjust the angle a little bit of that front hip if you'd like. The sole of the foot could stay lowered, or you can lift it. So experiment with you. And then you guys, we're going to take that to around the world. So find any angles that are calling to you. Those pathways of tension there. Okay. Making your way back through center, that middle line. And then adjust those feet into warrior one. So that foot is out away. You have some space for your pelvis. That angle with that back foot. Front knees bent and come on up. Inhale, fingertips reach. Exhale, cactus. Maybe there's a baby back bend here. Pause on the inhale And exhale, push. We'll do that a few times. Exhale, of savoring that beautiful movement of the shoulders. Pause. Exhale, push. We're not striving for anything here. It's more about feeling into the goodness of your body. All right. And last one. Go ahead and come into a Tadasana. Roll down your spine, feeling that movement and that length here. Forward fold. And just check in with that back body. How might it feel a little different than when we began? We're going to make our way into seated. So if you'd like to take a little malasana coming down into your squat, and then eventually finding your tush. Okay, so we're making our way onto our backs, finding wide feet here, maybe even a little wider than your mat, and shift. Find a little rhythmic movement for your body. And feel free to allow those arms to be relaxed by your sides. And then just see how the rest of your body wants to kind of float, how it wants to move and shift as those knees go back and forth. We'll stay for just a few more breaths as you feel that of slowing, lengthening of the breath. And then eventually find your way to stillness. And we're going to make our way into that centering prayer. You might stay on your back. You might lengthen the legs out all the way. Just finding your place of rest, what that feels like in your body. And once you arrive, connect to those places of contact of your body to your space. Notice your head, your pelvis, maybe your heels. And with the stillness of your body, can you tap into the stillness of your mind? This place that we're better able to attune to our Heavenly Father. It's that place where in Psalms it tells us to be still and to know He is God. And it's good to simply be yourself before God. Feel His love within all of your humanness. So as we settle for 5 minutes of centering prayer, I want to read a prayer by Saint Augustine. God, you have made us for yourselves, and our hearts are restless until they rest in you. I just invite you to feel what that stirs in you. And can you connect to a word, a phrase, a felt sense? Maybe it's an image of resting in God's embrace. So whatever is coming up for you, use it as your anchor for these 5 minutes of centering prayer. Whenever you notice that you start to engage with your thoughts, a memory, a list of things to do, anything that pulls you from the moment, very gently return to that word, the image, that felt sense, and repeat it. Allow that to just bring you back to this place, and the thought can float on by. So make your way to this space, this centering prayer. And if you already know that you would like more time, feel free to pause and linger. I'll return and close this in prayer. I'll close this in prayer. God of mercy and grace, thank you for our brilliant bodies and minds that you have gifted us to attune to your presence and find rest. Please multiply the impact of this time in our bodies and minds to keep us walking along your path. Amen. See you soon, friends.